wizardry.
Oh.
A pact with the devil, maybe.
Yeah.
That's how I like to get pregnant.
If you're one of those Christians, it probably is witchcraft, wizardry,
Which
and
I
devil
love that.
work and whatever.
Yes, ma'am. Everything I do in my life is based on witchcraft, obviously.
I know. You are the work of the devil.
I know.
Well, all right. That's probably a good spot to stop for a second. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And we are back with more exciting stuff. And we're going to get back on topic.
And then where babies come from, because who cares?
Well, somebody cares.
Not I, girl. Okay, so the last person there's many people that I would love to talk about, but I'm not going to sit here and list them all. So the last person I'm going to talk about today is Kimberly Crenshaw. She is a civil rights advocate. She is a scholar of critical race theory. She's a full-time professor at UCLA and Columbia Law School. She's an attorney. She's an activist. And she specializes in race and gender issues. You've heard us use the term intersectionality, and Kimberly Crenshaw is the one who coined the term in, I believe, the early 90s, very late 80s, early 90s. And the concept, again, because the whole point is you're a woman, you're black, you're a lesbian, you're differently abled. All those are your identities and how they intersect, right? So imagine you're at the center of an intersection, and the intersection of, like, race, gender, sexuality, and, like, where you land on that gives you a unique perspective of the world. I also like to say that it shows you the depths of your oppression and the bounds of your privilege, because I think that's helpful. But yeah, so she started this because there were two cases that were taken to court, and one of them was there were these black women who were not promoted or paid the same at this job. And so when at the court, they said, we believe that bosses, corporation, business, racist, right? Because they're not paying us. Well, the judge was like, no, but they hire black men, so they can't be racist, right? In this other company, these women were being discriminated against. And they were like, this is sexual discrimination. We're being treated differently because of our gender. And the judge is like, nope, there's white women there, so you're not being treated differently because of your gender. So it was because there was an issue. People weren't overlapping race and gender. They weren't overlapping all of her identities. These women identities that were being oppressed at work, being discriminated against. So the whole point was, how do we make it a viewpoint to look at other people, you know? Like, again, being like a white, cisgendered, heterosexual man is going to give you a very different narrative, very different perspective than being a black, differently abled lesbian woman, obviously. And that was her point. And it's not to talk about, like, individual discrimination, like, in this situation, because of this, I was discriminated. It's talking about, like, giant, structural, systemic issues in which, if you look at it through the lens of intersectionality, you can understand where people are coming from more so. You can see, oh, I get it. Just because you're a man doesn't mean that you understand it. You're also queer and you're black, so it's, you know what I mean, your perspective's a little harder. You don't have the same ideology as a cisgendered heterosexual white man. So Kimberly Crenshaw is, like, still alive, still kicking, she's still teaching. You should look her up. She's given TED Talks. She's given really important speeches about why the differences between, like, how we react to black men in the news versus black women in the news. It's just very interesting. Just look her up. She's great. Kimberly Crenshaw.
Okay. Speaking of black people in the news, I'm sure that you heard that the police are at it again and murdered some more people. The one that I found the most... I mean, they're all horrific. But one of the ones that really got to me was... and I'm sorry, I don't have specific details, but it was the police arrested this black woman, put her in jail, and she was in labor.
Oh my God, yes. Okay.
And she told them she was in labor.
God.
And they were like, oh, you're just trying to get out of it. You're trying to... And she's like, no, I am in labor. I am in pain. I am, I need to go to the hospital. A nurse at the jail came by and said, calm it down, quiet down. You're making too much noise. Threw a bottle of Gatorade to her and said, just shut up and stop making so much noise. They did not do anything for this woman until literally she was birthing her baby in the jail cell on the floor on all fours.
By herself.
Mm-hmm. And then the nurse came back and was like, "Oh, wow. Oh, my God. You really are. What?
Mm-hmm.
What? You're a nurse. You should know better."
How awful.
And the part that, I mean, is there a worse part? It's hard to pick a worse part. It's all awful. But then the baby died because it had no medical care. Mm-hmm. This woman, first of all, traumatized.
Yeah. Yes.
And, had it been, well, let's just say it, had it been a white woman and said, "I'm in labor," they'd have rushed her right to the hospital.
Well, that's also just like the flawed criminal justice system. Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh, well, first of all, you're a criminal because we have you in jail, so whatever you're saying is probably not true.
Right.
But secondly, you're a black woman, so I can't believe you because you're a black woman. Isn't that crazy?
Disgusting. It is disgusting. The other person I wanted to talk about, and then we're going to talk about some other things, was this cool chick from the early 1900s. Her name is Gladys Bentley. Look it up, because you really just got to see the picture of Gladys because she's cool.
Oh damn!
Gladys was
that all white suit though.
Yeah, right. I mean, she was a singer, a pianist, and she was an entertainer during the Harlem Renaissance. Most often performed wearing a tail tux and a top hat and a cane. I mean, she had it going on, right? But her career really took off in the 20s as I love it how they have it listed as a black lesbian cross-dressing performer.
Wow.
She headlined in the 1930s in clubs in Harlem doing drag. I mean, it's like awesome. She was backed up by a chorus line, get this, of drag queens.
I am obsessed.
Love that. I love that. But she played piano, sang her own, so she was also a songwriter, sang her own raunchy songs that she sang to popular tunes of the day.
I love it.
And flirted with women in the audience.
Is she Weird Al?
She's
the predecessor to Weird Al.
She's the predecessor to Weird Al.
Isn't that how it is?
Except raunchy.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's so cute.
Then she, after she was done, kind of when the Harlem Renaissance started to decline, she moved to Southern California and continued to play and sing. But then she was harassed for wearing men's clothes.
Of course.
And it was like, what the hell? It's crazy to me to think that in the 20s and 30s, she had a thriving career doing that. But later, and in California,
I know,
she was harassed and given shit for that. So she ended up starting wearing dresses.
Oh no.
She got married. Whatever. It's just... And claimed she was cured by taking female hormones.
What?
It was like, cured of what? Of your lesbianism?
Uh-huh.
First of all, not a disease, does not need to be cured.
And I don't think hormones are going to fix that.
No, I don't think that's how that works.
Mm-mm.
But you can imagine that the people who don't know any better, they're all, okay,
the pressure.
She had a defect and she fixed it with some pills.
But she was, under all that pressure too.
Oh God, it's just crazy to me. Mm-hmm. Just the thought of it, just ridiculous.
I know.
And it's like, but I go back to the whole idea of she was a thriving entertainer in the 30s. Later, when you would think they'd be more progressive, but it wasn't, of course, because it was then the McCarthy era. So it had regressed so far back that it's just crazy. Hey, you know what I learned yesterday?
What?
Again, kind of off topic, but ish, is that before the Nazi Party took over, they came to America to study the Jim Crow laws.
And eugenics.
But they came to America.
Yes.
To learn how to be... what they became.
So, yes, they Nazis came to America, learned about eugenics, and then created concentration camps.
Yes. One of the things that's crazy to me is so many, but they came here, studied up on the Jim Crow laws, and were like, yeah, this is good, until it got to the one drop rule that basically just says if you have one drop of black blood in you,
then you're black.
And that you need to be, ostracized or whatever. Even the Nazis thought that was taking it too far.
Too much, Bob. What?
What?
The Nazis
I'm
had-
sorry. You who are gassing people and murdering babies.
Horrifically, though. Like,
But
just
you-
also horrifically.
Right, but you thought that the Jim Crow laws were just a little too much.
It's
Crazy.
so interesting.
Crazy.
I know.
All right, so the other thing I wanted to talk about last week, we talked a little bit about the Oscars, but the Oscar nominations were not out, and they are out. And as usual, it's a lot of white people.
Huh.
Are you shocked?
White people.
Yeah.
No.
I am so shocked.
No.
So, apparently, there were no movies made by, for, and about black people this year.
Okay. Love
Except King Richard. Which is the story of Venus and Serena Williams' dad, yeah? Mm-hmm. Right? I want to make sure I said that right, but it's like, and how he pushed them to become the amazing, amazing athletes that they are. Talk about people who should be talked about more in, Venus and Serena Williams.
Yeah.
First of
I
all,
agree.
they're amazing.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
But even as amazing as they are, they have to put up with so much shit that male athletes never have to put up with. And it's like, I'm sorry, I don't think they should be penalized for not wanting to wear some little cutesy outfit because that's what all the other women are expected to wear.
I agree.
Bullshit. You would never say that to Bjorn Borg or whoever. I know I'm going back way too far in tennis. I don't know who plays tennis now.
Also, though, they're buff. Venus
Oh
and
my
Serena
God,
are
yes.
buff women. I love it. I'm about it.
I wouldn't mess with them. They would kick your ass.
Absolutely not.
I mean, really, look at... Do you see the muscles on those girls? They would kill you.
I'm scared.
Anyway,
scared.
but the only non-white people in the major categories, we have a few Latinx folks, Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Ariana DeBose. That's it. And that's for the people who are that, Javier is nominated for Best Actor. Lin-Manuel Miranda is obviously...
Okay, but 3 of the 5 Best Actor nominations are people of color.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But one actress of the Best Actress category, is just one. Penelope Cruz is the only non-white actress.
Yeah.
And then all of the... there's one supporting actress nomination, and that's Ariana DeBose.
Okay.
And... Wait, I take that back. There are 2.
Yeah.
Now, again, I actually did look at how to pronounce her name, but again, I don't always understand all the little squiggles and whatever above it. I believe her name is pronounced Ingenue.
Ingenue Ellis.
Ingenue Ellis.
Yeah.
For playing Venus and Serena's mom in King Richard. So she and Will Smith both got nominations for that movie. Yeah. The movie is nominated for Best Picture. One of the songs from the movie written by Beyonce and performed by Beyonce. So there are
moments.
But come on, people, we are 93 years in.
That's like, what do you mean?
Do better. Well, and in directors, of course, it's mostly white people. I think it's all white people, actually. But the only thing is, this year, they threw a woman in. One.
I see.
It's like...
Wait, no. They're all white people?
I think so. Now, I could be wrong. For director?
Ryosuke Hamaguchi, I don't think is a white person.
Oh, no, I would guess not. I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
Best director for Drive My Car, which I don't know anything about, but yeah.
Is that where you put makeup on your car and
you drive it?
I think you said drag my car.
No, my God, could you imagine?
Baby, you could drag my car.
Do you know those stupid eyelashes people put on?
I hate that. It's so stupid.
Is your car a lady? I'm so confused.
Maybe. Car looks like a lady.
Y'all, this is how gender is a construct. My car's a woman.
My car's a lady.
Be nice to her.
With big flashy eyelashes. I'm sorry, but if my car had big eyelashes, which I think are ridiculous, I wouldn't still make her a lady. She could be a drag queen.
Girl.
Or she could just be a boy with long, luscious lashes.
Beautiful lashes.
What's funny about that is when I was in my very first roommate situation back in McMinnville when I was 19, my roommate who I had moved into her house was telling me stories of celebrities because she grew up in California. And one of her celebrity acquaintances, not friend, but somebody she knew, was Farrah Fawcett.
Okay.
And she said she met Farrah before Farrah was famous.
Okay, interesting.
And she